of the Resistance. I was raised right. I love her so. I'm sorry. Hey,
hey, ho, we're live and we ho. Yay.
What's up?
Hey guys, it is TGIS here at that hashtag show. And we are continuing with Box Office Showdown, where we talk about all the latest and greatest in film releases and news. We have the lovely Tony here. Hi, Tony. Everyone say hi to Tony. And then we have me, Miggy. Yay. But hey, guys in the chat there.
I'm sorry, I was really trying to see how long I could go without actually speaking. Just to see how long it became like really weird.
Well, say hi to everyone in the chat.
Hi, guys.
For me here.
What's going on? Yeah,
Who we got there?
Let's see. I see Ryan, Green Arrow, Edward Sanchez, Blackwing, Sam, Toku Kid. Hi. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi. And if you guys can see there to our right, left, those are our news topics for today. We have Mortal Kombat. Disney will own Hulu. No surprise there. And petitions and fan outrage. The entitlement. The rage. The internet.
I have thoughts. So, yeah, that's going to be, we need to just go through these first two so that way we can get to that one.
We do. Let's get into it here. So, Mortal Kombat is moving forward. Tell us a little more about that.
Yeah, so Mortal Kombat has been announced, and with a director attached to it, and that director is James Wan. James Wan, you might know from Aquaman, Conjuring. Let's see what else. I think he
Saw,
The Nun, all these other
Fast and Furious 7.
Really, all these horror movies that actually managed to actually be any kind of decent. Yeah, that's James Wan. Not to mention, it's Furious 7. Jez, is that his?
Yes.
So. Yeah, pretty good credentials there. Thoughts, comments, concerns, Migdalia?
Well, I think they did a fan film, or they were supposed to do a movie off of based on Mortal Kombat 10 video game. And so I think that's where this is really stemming from, because a reboot of Mortal Kombat has been development hell for years and years and years. And I think it is time to reboot the franchise a little bit, just to get the taste of Mortal Kombat Annihilation from our mouths. Terrible film. But I am a fan of the first one, no matter how cheesy it is. It's super cheesy, but come on, the theme song alone, it's yes.
Because the actual premise of Mortal Kombat, that's why that hasn't just been a bankable, Fast and Furious kind of franchise that's been going on for years. That's what it should be. It should be, the new Fast and Furious, but because people still don't know how to adapt video games into movies. Apparently that's a thing that we're still trying to figure out. I know, but we're going to get to topics that you really want to talk about, and that way you'll be happy that you actually came here, Migdalia.
I'm just so tired.
I know, it's okay. No, but I'm excited, and you're right. It is time for it to be rebooted, and I definitely trust James Wan just because,
I know he's great.
Yeah, he's great, and I also like the fact that he's in all of his movies, you can kind of see how he's willing to be a little campy, willing to be extremely dramatic and theatrical in a way that I feel like a lot of these, for better, for worse, kind of took or for worse, we took some of the wrong lessons from, I think, the Dark Knight trilogy when people were just let's make it gritty and dark and really give it that kind of twist.
Yeah.
And some people just kind of zapped all the fun out of it. And when you're talking about adapting something like Mortal Kombat, which is just inherently ridiculous because it has things like fatalities and animalities, and there are things that are just is that how you say it? Animality? Am I saying that correctly?
Animorphs?
Yeah, because literally I stopped playing Mortal Kombat past the first one.
What?
I did. Not because I didn't love it, just because video games just surpassed me and my skill level on a controller. I know, my thumbs don't work.
She's
correctly.
an intellectual.
I'm a comic
Is what she's
reader.
trying to say.
I read comics and
she doesn't want to slum it up with the rest of us.
I'm the asshole who would actually subscribe to GamePro and read the articles
instead
of actually using the cheat codes. That was me. So.
We have a super chat.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute, and we'll wrap up here. But I think we think that Mortal Kombat coming back with James Wan is a good thing, correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool, awesome. So let's move on to this super chat. Green Arrow is asking, were you surprised John Wick 3 took the #1 spot? And what he's referring to is that it finally knocked off Avengers off the #1 spot for the weekend, or at least it's projected to by the end of this weekend. you surprised by that at all?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. At John Wick 3, it was like a highly anticipated film of this year.
Yep.
Probably, most likely, I'm just trying to think of the releases this year. It's definitely in the top 5 of most anticipated film releases this year. But just also with the Mortal Kombat stuff, I think, and I just saw Jezzer like putting up some fan art there. We should do fan casting when I'm back in a couple of weeks.
Definitely, because all right, Jess, can we do that? Can you give us a couple? Like, you're gonna have to give us the characters because honestly,
Well, you're gonna have to give her the characters.
It depends on
Well, there's just too many.
There are a lot. Well, we should do it based off who's in the Mortal Kombat 10 game.
Okay.
I think that's like 10.
We can do that.
To 15 people.
All right.
This one is an easy one, though, right?
I mean, because I'm the person. I haven't played these games in a really long while, but I am that kind of person who will
Sub-Zero
just watch the
Nicolas Cage.
playthroughs.
Yes.
That's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
Could you imagine if Nicolas Cage was Johnny Cage? That would be the best.
Johnny Cage or Sub-Zero?
No, I like because he's like the movie star, so it'd be so hilarious if it was Nicolas Cage being Johnny
He's
Cage.
old. If he was younger, I would totally be like, absolutely.
Why? Why does Johnny Cage have to be that young?
He doesn't have to be, but he always has been. He's always been that kind of guy that was just like always mad that his career wasn't doing.
Sure, but
what
in
it should be
10,
doing.
he was more like a military type, and he was definitely in his 40s.
All right. I mean,
I know that's like 9
can
installments
Nick Cage
from the
play
last.
in his 40s?
Nick Cage can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Correct. 100%.
Disney owning Hulu.
Yeah.
Not a big surprise. I was kind of anticipating this because they have Marvel's Runaways. They have a few Marvel ABC shows that they get the next day it airs or they have exclusive rights to. And they didn't pull it off of Hulu streaming service like they did with Netflix.
Correct.
So we should have saw this partnership coming for sure.
I think we have seen it coming, and I think, I can't really speak to like what that's going to mean for the long run for the landscape. With the Disney Fox merger, the flip side of that being other than a lot of people were just excited, like, yay, we're getting some of the characters back into the stable, back into Marvel control, awesome.
Yes.
But on the flip side of that was hundreds, if not thousands, of people are going to be losing their jobs because you're merging two companies into one, and you're absorbing a lot of those departments. On this one, I'm not exactly sure what this means, just because you have Disney Plus that's going to be coming out, and it doesn't seem like Hulu is going anywhere. In fact, mostly what I've been reading is that Hulu will be sort of like what Touchstone Pictures was for Disney back in the 80s and 90s. Touchstone and the other subsidiary studios, just being those titles that they didn't necessarily want the Disney name on top of. They could release more of your adult fare, your Oscar contenders. Those were the kind of films that were released under those banners, and that's to me kind of what Hulu is going to be functioning as. If I had to bet on it, that it would just be sort of those things that, these are properties that we have control of and that we'd like to do something with, but we don't necessarily want to put that on Disney Plus or any of our other platforms.
So do you think they're gonna move like Runaways and their other shows to the Disney streaming service, and maybe this is just them owning Hulu in name and getting some financials off of it, but not really focusing on the content going to Hulu because they have their own streaming service?
Listen, I'm not caught up on Runaways, but just from what I've seen, it has been largely removed from the MCU and from what happens, and I think what Disney has now become synonymous with Marvel. And I think they're going to veer away from confusing as many people as possible. Because just because you put that Marvel banner, now enough people are realizing just because it has the Marvel banner doesn't mean that it's actually part of the MCU. It just means that it used to be a Marvel comic book at one point.
Yeah.
If they decide to go ahead and integrate Runaways and those kind of shows more into the MCU, then I would say, yeah, that's going to happen. They'll go ahead and move that over. But right now, I just kind of see that everything is going to stay where it is.
Green Arrow says, I wonder if they will delete Hulu and wedge into Disney Plus.
I don't see that happening. I really don't. What is the point of that?
Yeah.
Hulu
is ginormous.
Yeah. What they will do is they'll make it a bundle subscription. That is definitely what they're going to move towards. After the first couple of years, I think, of Disney Plus, then it'll be a thing of like, hey, we're going to go ahead and up your subscription price to, instead of that, what is it, $7.99 or $6.99? Now it's going to be $9.99, but that's a subscription to Disney Plus and Hulu.
Eon 001 seems like Disney is going to put their our stuff
Definitely.
on Hulu.
Definitely.
You think
Because
so?
there's stuff that I think also Disney Plus is, if I'm a parent, chances are I'm going to kind of treat it like YouTube Kids. I'm just going to trust that everything on there is going to be family-friendly content. And if there's going to be something on there that you're going to be kind of iffy about, because even their MCU stuff, I think most parents...
This is dark as hell.
It is dark as hell, but you don't really hear a whole lot of parents actually saying, like, I don't allow my children to watch Winter Soldier or
Yeah.
watch Ronan kill a bunch of Japanese people. Like, I don't hear too much of that. I'm sure there will be some people, but I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to try to keep it as family-friendly as possible.
All right. I think that's all there is to say about that. Side note, Marvel has canceled the 2000... Wait.
Has Marvel canceled the 2018 Marvel Spider-Man cartoon show?
I didn't even know there
Do
was
we know
a
that?
Spider-Man cartoon show.
I mean, there's always a Spidey something.
There's
or other.
always, yes. I don't know.
No, I think you're keeping all your this is what I honestly think. You're keeping all your A-list Marvel talent on Disney Plus. All your B-listers, your C-listers, some of the ones that are a little more maybe like, you know, something like Punisher and those Defenders, like if you wanted to recreate a show like that. Yeah, it'll live on Hulu. It won't be on Netflix, and it definitely won't be on Disney Plus. It'll live on Hulu.
It'll live.
Yeah.
Live. Okay. So moving on to petitions.
Yes! Fuck
Fan
these people! I'm
outrageous.
sorry. Can I say that? Can I say people?
I'm being pushed.
Okay.
We're being pushed.
I'm sorry.
Do you have room over there?
What else?
Mickey Mouse is pushing us. Mickey Mouse is taking over #show. We've been bought by Disney.
So yeah, the petition and fan outrage. So I don't know if you saw.
Fan entitlement is the worst kind of
there are
entitlement.
petitions currently circulating for, let's see, the Game of Thrones for
Season 8.
I saw something. I don't know what the count is now. I saw anywhere between 16,000 and half a million.
Yeah, I saw 500,000.
People have actually signed a petition so that way, urging HBO to reshoot season 8 with better writers.
No.
Okay.
Also, the petition's out for Robert Pattinson, being Batman.
Which is stupid. Yeah, we're gonna go bit by bit. So let's start. I kind of want
1 million signatures.
1 million. Listen, one of the guys I follow on Twitter was like, "This is stupid," and I'm just like, "No, let the trash take itself out." Because I know for a fact, if I saw anybody that I personally know on my timeline saying like, "Yeah, this is something you should totally go ahead and sign," I'd be like, block, delete, unfriend, unfollow.
Wow, I'm glad I didn't say that.
You would never. Why?
I
Because you're
wouldn't.
not an asshole.
Yes. I'm just.
Yeah. But I think, listen, I told Jez, I'm like, we need to talk about the good, the bad, and the weird. And I think earlier this year, we saw an instance of good fan outrage, which was for the Sonic trailer. Sonic looked like garbage. Sonic didn't look anything looking like Sonic.
Sure.
And the only reason that those people actually said, we heard you, we're sorry, we're going to go back and fix it, is because you know for a fact there was at least more than enough people in that room that was like, this looks like garbage, guys. We really shouldn't release this trailer now. And somebody just pushed the button and said, yeah, we should just go
Maybe
ahead and
they
do
just
that.
released the wrong. Maybe they released like you know, I don't know, the old footage, and they actually had a new one, you know, already made up. But I don't think it's good. I think that's why the door was open for people to create petitions like this and just be extra assholey on
I mean, sure,
on the
but
internet.
That's creator prerogative, I think. Like, you can choose to like actually pay attention to that, which the people of Sonic clearly did, and was like, all right, because at a certain point it becomes a form of quality control. If you have enough people saying like, I have no interest in seeing this, and you've just already dumped like how many millions of dollars into your movie, like.
Sure, but that's because Paramount can't afford for this to fail.
Exactly.
Rather than like the creators of Game of Thrones don't care that you want a reboot of season 8.
And yeah.
HBO's got money.
So,
Game of Thrones has made money.
I would say, like,
They're
in
moving
the
on.
very few select cases, fan outrage can be a good thing. It can be a way for people to actually, like, for example, this Mortal Kombat reboot. People have been like, yeah, those movies were not that great, man. They really didn't follow the source material all that well, so maybe we should do something about that.
How dare you speak of the first movie like that?
I love the first movie. You know what I mean.
How dare you?
You know what I mean. But you know, what was his name? Highlander should not be playing Raiden. You know that, even though he's wonderful. He shouldn't be playing Raiden. Okay, but anyways,
It's just whoever's signing is delusional.
No,
They're the
and
same
let's
people who
get to the
signed
bad. Yeah.
to build the wall, who
So-
donated on GoFundMe.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about that later. But yeah. So this wasn't the first couple of petitions because we've seen petitions in the past for release the Snyder Cut. We've seen them for.
Well, that's a positive. Release
Yeah.
the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, but again, it's like these people that have just decided that what they're experiencing is just horrible to the point of actually being harassing.
Yes.
I think that's where the line is. If you're actually driving people off of social media, you're an asshole. If you're actually to the point where you're urging HBO to reshoot, how much does one season of Game of Thrones actually cost to
Millions.
produce? Like,
because they filmed for like 6 to 9 months.
So that has to
at least
be
they
some-
did season 8.
so like 8 figures easily? Like, guys, that's not.
Ain't gonna happen.
These assholes that were urging everybody, hey, not only sign this petition, but give money so that way we can remake The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a whole new level
That's
of
what
entitlement.
that's what fan films are for. That's
Yes,
what fan
yes.
fiction is
It's
for.
like these people have never heard of fanfic.
I
what
know.
fanfic
Back
is
in
supposed
my
to be
day,
for.
because listen, I was a big like Charmed watcher and Buffy and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would just after Thursday nights on Friday mornings, me and my friends would just get together gym class and bitch about how awful Charmed was the night before.
Yeah.
And then, or we would have Battle of the Ships, like Buffy and Angel's better than Buffy and Spike or whatever.
Yeah.
But then we go to fanfiction.net and we spend hours on there because fan created stuff is sometimes the best created stuff. And that's where you can get your gratification from.
Correct.
Because you're delusional if you think anyone's going to remake anything because you signed a piece of
No.
paper. It's not going to happen.
And I think, Star Trek is one of those fandoms that has like a
Mm.
long, like canon of fan films. If you guys ever just wanted to see what people can just like, when they go ahead and decide like we're going to do something and we're going to actually
Yeah.
create, like those are really cool films, even though like they vary in quality and what they're actually trying to accomplish. It's cool to see that. But for people to just kind of sit on the internet but I also want to say this though, I think it's really easy to go ahead and hype up these petitions and say like, look at these dumbass nerds and
Yeah.
see what they're doing. But it's like, that's a very, I would say even if there's like 1 million signatures, that's still a pretty small minority
Sure,
of
but
overall people
but
who
it
are
is-
actually watching that show.
it's not even about being like delusional and that this is never going to happen. Like, you guys don't know how much work it takes to create something like that, and the people behind the actors, the creators, the writers, they're human beings. Just imagine you made something, you wrote something, you sang on video, you whatever creator content you put out there, and somebody was just trashing it on the web and creating petitions like, oh, this person's awful, they should never did this. Like, how hurt would you feel? I think it's just completely disrespectful because not only do petitions made, but people send death threats. People send DMs.
And that's the
people
line.
at them on the internet. It just crosses a line because one thing may be acceptable for a minute.
I think there is a line. You can disagree with what's happening with
Sure.
a TV or a TV show or a movie. You can go ahead and write think pieces. You can get in front of your own camera and put on a huge long rant on the YouTubes.
Right.
You can do all that, and that is
You are
totally
entitled to your opinions.
that is a
yes.
vital part of fandom, in my opinion. Like, absolutely, like, let's have this conversation. But the minute it becomes something where, again, you're harassing people, you're allowing other things to fuel that criticism, like racism and misogyny, and it just veers over into an area where it's like, now it's no longer fun. Now it's no longer, nerd debate. Now
Yeah.
it's you actually trying to, like, and I think at the end of the day, the petition is silly, it's stupid, but my fear is, like, these guys, D&D, the writers behind Game of Thrones, they're about to make a new Star Wars movie. So is this outrage gonna? And now already people are we shouldn't let them
maybe.
anywhere near it. And it's like, well, calm down. Like, we haven't seen anything yet. Like, we should reserve judgment. And if the movie is shit, absolutely have at them. But I
Yeah.
just think it's really silly to
And I'm one of those people who I'm not really enjoying the season,
Me
but
neither.
at this point I'm just like, it's done, it's
it's
shot.
it's out of my hands. Like,
Yeah,
And I
whatever.
think it's a lot more fun. I mean, like, we're, for those of you that are interested, we're going to have a watch party. We're going to have an after show after Game of Thrones tomorrow night. So be on the lookout for that. But I think it's going to be fun to get in a room with a bunch of, my nerd friends and be like, let me tell you everything I didn't like with what went down. And let me tell you everything that I did like.
And they're going to argue about timelines.
Yeah.
And how did this person get from Winterfell to King's Landing in 2 days?
Impossible. Time vortex. The dragon is a portal now.
I like the minute we said Snyder Cut, everyone just started talking about release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
R. R. Martin wanted to make 10 seasons of the show. Just to get into Game of Thrones for a little bit, I do think they could have benefited from a 10-episode season. Yep. I have no idea why they were like, eight, that's it. That's how we're going to close it.
I honestly think that the writers, and not only that, but I'm pretty sure a good amount of the writers, the cast, the crew, they wanted to move on. Because these are people that, these are huge. How long does it take to make a whole season? It's like months, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like 6
almost
months.
Half a year, yeah.
6 months of your life that is now dedicated to one project. And that's not usually how actors work. They're usually brought on for a few months at a time. The only thing that I think that would be comparable to that kind of commitment would be like these huge franchise players that are devoting like the Lord of the Rings guys. They were like in New Zealand for how long? For like 3 years making movies and shit like that. The Marvel guys, sometimes they're, together for like a year and a half. But again, these are like the most massive movies that Hollywood makes. And if you're someone who's like, maybe I'd like to move on to something else, like, all right, maybe.
Sure, but you could tell the actors didn't enjoy this season either.
They didn't, which is great, because now the press that they've been doing before this season aired, now everybody's been making these little compilations of people just being like, yeah, it's a season of television. Hope you like it.
Well, guys, just don't get into who wants Digimon live action film. Ooh.
Okay.
I don't know. But you know what? I need to see John Wick 3 for sure and Detective Pikachu still for sure.
I haven't seen any of the John Wick movies.
That's what this one said. Oh my God. Why?
Not that I don't want to. It just has never been something I've done. So if you guys want to sit me down and have me watch the movies, if you actually want to hang out with me, Migdalia, instead of avoiding me for the majority of your life. See?
We're going to hang out at Comic-Con. What more do you want from me?
I just want your love and friendship. Why won't you give me that?
Battlestar Galactica says, my question is, has nerd debate become so overtaken by outrage that now every nerd toothpaste is crossing the line?
Listen, this is what I think. I think at the end of the day, everyone's trying to sell a click. Everybody is trying to sell ad space. It's all just about making money at this point. Nerd outrage, people click on that shit. If you wrote something that said, a lot of people are really happy with what happened on Game of Thrones, like, that's not going to sell much space as opposed to, look how everyone is upset and outraged. Like, that's
outrage.
That's what I think it is. And I think that there is an amplification that happens on the reporting of this. And I think that that's also something where media, and especially nerd media, kind of has to look at itself as to like, are we just kind of like giving these guys a bigger platform because we want to sell the ad space and we want to sell clicks and we want to like, it is interesting and to like even point and laugh at these guys and be like, they're not going to do that. But also I think you kind of just have to like take a step back also as an observer of this and realize that's a small minority of the fandom. And I think if there's ever a moment for gatekeeping, this is the moment. Those aren't fans. Those are fake ass geeks that are just mad at the world and just want something to bitch about.
Trolls.
They can be over there.
Interweb trolls. Guys, so many people are like, I haven't seen John Wick. This is one of the best action franchise
we'll have
in
a watch
film
along. Can we
history.
finally have a watch along
Film
of anything?
History.
So many dogs died.
Dogs die?
No.
What do you mean? No, that's what it's built upon.
Wait. I have a question.
Yes. It's
Okay.
one and it's only in the first one.
Does the human responsible for the dog's death, do they die?
Yes.
In a terrible fashion?
Oh, and actually Theon from Game of Thrones is in the first one.
But they die?
Yes.
All right, then I'm watching this shit. Yeah, absolutely.
It has some of the greatest
Oh
shooting
my God, you
choreography,
guys!
fight choreography, Keanu Reeves.
Listen,
puppies.
I always said that if I was ever going to be a hero or villain, I would literally be Poison Ivy, but for animals. And that's what John Wick sounds like. It sounds like
How does that
a
work?
puppy
What is that
avenger.
going to look like?
It's
You're
a puppy avenger, somebody who goes ahead and avenges the abuse of animals, all right? And
So
that's
you
what
want to
you're
be an
saying.
animal cop. I wanted to be an animal cop, but then I saw some episodes of that animal cop show, and I was like, I'd kill
Oh,
somebody.
animal control. Yeah, see? Let's
No,
do
there's
that.
animal cops.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
that.
that go
But no,
investigate.
I'm not saying we're not part of law enforcement. We are going beyond the law to go ahead and take justice into our own hands.
Sure,
That's
but
what
you
I
still
wanna
have to
be.
look. It's not about investigating. It's about seeing.
No,
it.
I don't
It
want to
makes me
investigate. I want to
sad.
punish.
Makes me sad.
Let's punish the fuck out of these assholes.
Oh my God, Grumpy Cat died yesterday. I was so sad. I read the
R.I.P..
Twitter. Yeah, R.I.P. Grumpy Cat. Aw. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm getting really sappy here. Yes, I would recommend John Wick. See John Wick, please.
Yes, so that's
Please.
the lesson of this this week's box office showdown. Watch John Wick. Be
Yes.
nice to puppies. Otherwise, me and Migdalia will hunt you down and kill you
Yes.
in a horribly gory fashion.
And you can be critical and you can have an opinion, but don't target
Don't be
people.
an
Don't
asshole.
at them. Just leave them alone.
Don't be an asshole.
Yes, don't be an asshole.
Yes.
Josh-
We would
Josh
be
Goldman.
vigilantes, Blackwing. We absolutely would be vigilantes.
For the animals. All right, guys, we'll be back for Superhero News Network. We're going to be talking about the casting of Robert Pattinson for Batman and other fun topics. So just stay tuned, and we'll be with you in about 10 minutes. Da 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 da. Puppy pack.